Creating a wet room is an easy process as long as you read thoroughly and follow the simple installation instructions that come with the kit. First, check the pack contents to ensure you have all of the items necessary for the installation process and thoroughly read the instructions before installing. Make sure that the walls and flooring in the work area are free from dirt and nails, and that the floor coverings and skirtings have been removed. If you have existing walls covered with plaster or plasterboard, use Puragum primer to seal the walls. If the walls are not covered as shown, then clad the walls with panels or plasterboard and coat with Puragum primer and allow to cure. Always ensure that you do not apply any Puragum primer to the tray. Using a spirit level, check that the floor is level. If it is plus or minus 5 mm per metre, this is acceptable. Lay out the tray where required using a marker pen. Mark the area in the centre of the tray. Once you've marked out the area, remove the tray and put to one side. Then add 3 mm to all edges of the drawn line. Using a circular saw with a cutting depth set to the depth of the floor, cut out the marked area on the floor, making sure you cut to the inside of the drawn line. Be careful not to cut into the joists. Make sure there are at least 3 joists showing. Now install supports so the rest of the installation brackets are supported all the way round, with cross supports at both ends. Use the 4 mm adjuster pieces for 22 mm floorboards. Place the joist installation brackets onto the joists and place the gully exactly on top. The linear waist needs to be 10 mm above the floorboards when it is fixed. Put the drain in position and check it is 10 mm above the floor and it is flat. Lay the tray into position to ensure that it fits correctly around the drain. Remove the tray. It is at this point that you connect the waste outlet to the drainage. Then securely screw through the flange of the gully and installation brackets to the joists with the screws provided, ensuring both ends are screwed into joists or supports. Use the MS polymer to seal the gap between the floor and the installation rail all the way round. Lay the tray into position and then screw the tray down to the floorboards at 15 cm intervals and make sure you avoid any pipework, cables or services. Then level the room using appropriate tile backer board. Use a suitable 6 mm marine ply to overlay the original floor. Then, fixing with 3 mm of tile adhesive, lay the 10 mm tile backer board in a brick bond pattern and ensure that tapes are used on all joints, making sure that you follow the manufacturer's installation instructions and that you fix in accordance with the British Standards 5385 regulations, in preparation for the tanking kit, tile adhesive and porcelain tiles. Then apply the MS polymer to the gaps between the drain and tray, to the tray and wall, to the tray and floor, smoothing down as you go. Allow the MS polymer to tack over for at least 60 minutes. This will depend on your site's conditions. Ensure all gaps are totally filled. From the tanking kit, dry cut the grey tape before applying any Puragum to it. Once all of the pieces are cut to size, using a roller or small brush, apply the Puragum to the wall and tray joints. Apply the grey tape whilst the Puragum is still wet and firmly smooth down the tape as you go along, ensuring there are no air pockets or ridges. It is important to fix the tape as quickly as possible, as allowing the Puragum to tack over will affect adhesion. Always remember that a joint is a weak point, so ensure all joints are taped. Now fix the gasket into position with the MS polymer. First, check if it fits properly. Then place the gasket into position, making sure it is centered, and mark the outer and inner edges. Remove the gasket. With the MS polymer, create a zigzag pattern in the marked area, and then with a clean flat scraper, smooth the MS polymer in the entire marked area to a thickness of 1 mm to 1.5 mm. And only overlapping the marked lines by 1 to 2 mm. By doing this, you will ensure the whole gasket is fixed. Fix the gasket into position, making sure you are pressing with reasonable amounts of pressure, and push out all the creases and air bubbles beneath the gasket. Go over the whole gasket with a clean, wide, flat scraper, pushing it into the MS polymer. Now allow to dry for 3 hours. Now cover the whole tray, floors, tile backer boards, tapes and walls with 1 coat of Puragum and allow to dry for at least 3 hours. Once dry, apply a second coat. Leave the area to dry for at least 24 hours before tiling. Please remember that all drying times are minimum and site conditions can affect the drying times. The tray and walls are now ready for tiling, using flexible C2 tile adhesive. Always check your tile adhesive and grout manufacturer's drying times for a wet room.